to Bel Air High School, and I graduated in 2006. And I had this really great friend. Her name was Eileen Dietz. And it was me and Eileen, and we had a friend named Wenjing, and we had a friend named Tracy. And we were just like these four weirdos, and we like go around and we go to shows, and we were just kind of weird high schoolers. We had a really good thing going on. Um, Eileen has an older brother, and Tracy had a really, 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 really big crush on him. And she was a pretty good sport about it. She just kind of let it slide, but Tracy liked to follow him around a lot. He was like 2 years older than we were, and he'd always wear like, he was kind of goofy in the same way that we are. We are still, and we were. So we just kind of like follow him around and like not really talk to him very much, but he was cool. He was really, really cool about it, but he thought that we were definitely really weird. And older brother went away to school, and, we graduated, and Eileen, Wenjing, Tracy, and I kind of went our separate ways. And Eileen went to school, UC Santa Barbara, and she graduated, and she moved back to Houston from California, and her brother went away to school at KU, and he moved back the same summer. And so Eileen called me one day out of the blue and was like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm at this party at 1816 Calumet," which at the time, 1816 Calumet, at the time there were lots of shows like Giant Princess, Blackie, um, Young Mammals, Wild Moccasins, uh, Love Field, all of them, Fat Tony, everybody was playing at 1816 Calumet. And I think Blackie was playing one night. And Eileen was like, "Is it cool if I bring my brother?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah. I haven't seen him in like 8 years, sure." So Eileen brings her brother. Her brother's name is Raph. And she brings Raph to the party. And I'm like sitting in the back. There's like a pickup truck in the backyard just parked. And I'm sitting in the bed of the pickup truck. And Eileen walks up with Raph. I'm like, "Hey, Eileen." And then I look at Raph and I'm like, "Whoa. Hey, Raph." Like, Raph's all cleaned up. He's not wearing like crushed purple velvet blazer. He's all cleaned up. He's looking really good. And so I'm like sitting there and I like talk to them and stuff. And they leave the party. And it's really cool. And I'm just like, "Oh, yeah, Raph. Raph's looking good." So then, like, I hang out with Eileen a couple more times. And then a couple months go by, and there's a Fistful of Soul at the Mink. And, yeah, so this is early 2011. And so she comes to Fistful of Soul, and she brings Raph. And I'm drunker than a skunk at this point when they show up. And Raph, we're all kind of dancing in this group, and I just like kind of pull Raph aside, and we're like dancing, and like I'm pretty drunk, so I just start like, I'm like, whatever, fuck it. I just start like grinding on him and stuff, and we're just like laughing and like falling down, or I'm falling down. And then Eileen like kind of taps Raph on the shoulder. It's like, we gotta go. And he's like, "Okay, sorry, I have to go." And like I kiss him on the cheek and I like run away. And yeah. I wake up the next day and I'm like super hungover. I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. Whatever. How am I gonna live that one down?" So, like later that day, Eileen texts me and was like, "Oh, hey, I'm making pizzas at my house. You should come." And I was like, "Okay." Like knowing that Raph is going to be there, and I'm like, I want to go because he's gonna be there, but like I don't really want to go because I'm super embarrassed. I end up going, and I end up going with this guy that Eileen is kind of seeing at the time, and his name is Foy, and Foy is also like a very longtime friend of ours, and Foy comes to pick me up, and I'm like, I purposely wear like the most frumpy outfit that I can find, and Foy's like, "What are you wearing?" I'm like, "I'm just wearing an outfit." Shut up. So we go over to Eileen's, we make pizza. I'm trying to like gauge the situation, and like Raph's being kind of flirty with me, and I'm like, if he can be flirty with me in this outfit, like, okay, maybe this could work. So we make pizza and stuff, and I think Foy ends up leaving, and I was like, oh no, I'll just spend the night here. And so Raph and I stay up all night watching Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Great films. And, after a while, Raph's like, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. It's like, okay, I'm going to stay down here on the couch. He's like, okay. So I'm like laying in the dark on the couch. I'm like, I'm such an idiot. Like, I should just make a move. I should make a move. Like, fuck it if I'm in a sister's house. Like, I should make a move. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. So I go upstairs, and I, like, open the door, and I'm like, Raph, can I have a pillow? And he just, like, scoots over and, like, hits the side of the bed, like, come on, get in the bed with me. And I'm like, okay. So then he, like, spoons me all night. We leave the door wide open, sister, mom, like, gotta be cool. Leave the door wide open, and he just, like, spooned me all night long. And it was really sweet. And then we kissed in the morning, and it was really cute. I think I woke up in the morning, and I immediately started talking to him about performance art. And I thought that was really going to weird him out. And he was like, no, that sounds really, really interesting. We kiss and stuff, and I leave. And I didn't get his number. I'm so stupid. I didn't get his number. So his sister's driving me home, and I'm like, Eileen, can I have Raph's number? And she's like, yeah, sure. And she gives me Raph's number, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, I should wait a little while to text him. I think I waited like a day, and then I texted him and was like, hey, this is Evan. Eileen gave me your number. And he's like, oh, cool. I was going to ask her for yours. And I was like, oh, okay. So then we go on our first date a couple days later, and he meets me at Herman Park, and I went to this place down the street called Picnic. So we go and buy a picnic. Yeah, real great. Real DIY. And we have this picnic, and we're on the hill in front of Miller Outdoor Theater, and it's great. And we're just like hugging and eating food and being really cute. And then he's like, oh, I have to leave now because I have this cyst on my back and I gotta get it drained. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, but I'll meet up with you later. Like, we'll continue the date later. I just gotta take care of this big growth on my back. I'm like, all right, that's cool. And I was like, he's not gonna call me back later. Like, whatever. I was planning on going to a show at Mango's later that night. And he calls me later, and he meets me up at Mango's. And it's like Muhammad Ali and like Toxic Brats and like, just like a punk show, which he's like more into pop punk. But he was like super down at the show. We got really, really drunk. And then we went back to my house and did it. And that was our first date. And we are now, over 3.5 years later. There's been lots of ups and downs. We've been on breaks and stuff. But we've always loved each other, and he's always been really, really great about like giving me my space and like letting me be my own person and letting me have autonomy. And he's always just been really, really, really great about that. And I'm like so lucky to have a partner as awesome as he is. And like, right now we're sitting in his grandparents' house, in the backyard of his grandparents' house, where we live together now. And yeah, it's really, really great. I love him so much. And like, yeah, he's just put up he just put up with a lot because I'm crazy. You know, I've done performance art pieces where I'm like, Raph, I might have sex with this Spanish guy that I like barely know, and like, are you okay with that? He's like, I mean, I'm not really necessarily like okay with it, but you're gonna kind of do whatever you're gonna do anyway. So, do you need any help getting everything together? And like for that piece, he like drove me all around town to get like a bunch of photo equipment, and yeah, he's just really been supportive and great and generous. Probably one of the nicest, kindest people I've ever met. I'm so lucky. So yeah, and it all started at Bel Air High School in 2004, 10 years ago. Oh my God. Yeah, it's crazy.